This is episode number 10 of the Online Playmaker Sessions. This week's episode is with my friend and attraction marketing master, Justice Eagan.
Welcome to the Online Playmaker Sessions. This is the place for the latest what's working now strategies from the best online playmakers, the top marketers, the rising stars who are making it happen right now. Every week, you'll get real, actionable lessons that you can take and apply immediately in your business, delivered in short 20-minute sessions. Our focus is your results. Here's your host, entrepreneur, world-class trainer, and marketing strategist, Norbert Orlowitz.
Hello, online playmakers. If this is your first time tuning into the Playmaker Sessions, thank you for choosing us, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and if you prefer video, our YouTube channel at onlineprofitplaybook.tv. As with all of our episodes, we have all the show notes, transcripts, and actionable tips over on the blog. Just head over to www.onlineprofitplaybook.com. You'll also be able to get access to my complimentary 5-video tutorial series on building the proper foundation for your online business, as well as several other free trainings, including my Instant Income Multiplier tutorial. And if you're ready to multiply your results fast, check out the premium membership of our Online Profit Playbook, where our guests open up their closely guarded playbooks and walk you step by step through the exact marketing funnels and sales process they use to build their audience, grow their influence, and make sales. Get the coveted Online Profit Playbook today. Just head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers. 5 years ago, at the age of 31, Justice was working full-time in the hospitality industry, a quintessential workaholic, working 80-plus hour weeks, missing every Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, and other special family holidays. He was introduced to the network marketing industry looking for a better alternative to his current financial plan. After making just $98 in his first 10 months, Justice began learning how to market himself online through attraction marketing. He fell in love with online marketing and began to master the art of attracting high-quality prospects to him through strategic, specific strategies he now teaches to others. Since then, Justice has quit his job for good in 2013, and he has gone on to establish himself as a successful marketer and renowned trainer. Justice has won recruiting contests in network marketing, he's become a top affiliate marketer online, has been invited to speak and train at major industry events, and has gone on to launch several of his own products and training programs, which have done hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. This week's Online Playmaker, Justice Eagan. All right, welcome back, everyone, to another edition of the Online Playmaker Sessions. Today, I've got my good friend here, Justice Eagan. Justice, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, bud. Excited to jump on here. Excited about what you're doing. I'm looking forward to chatting it up here and seeing what kind of value we can bring to your audience. Yeah,
fantastic. You know, it's been fun over the last few years watching you develop as a marketer and a leader in this industry. You know, I remember when you got your start, and I remember when you quit your job. And, you know, now seeing you on stage, seeing you creating products, seeing you leading and training people and helping them to achieve results. It's an amazing transition to watch. And I just want to congratulate you, first of all, on all your success, Justice.
Well, man, I appreciate that so much. And, you know, first and foremost, I got to say thank you, you know, because, you know, you, as one of the co-founders of My Lead System Pro, you know, that system played such a role in, you know, in my development. And, you know, I always stop and think, I always look at certain people like yourself, you know, you, Brian, Todd, you guys made a huge decision, right? And, you know, you could have stopped and said, well, now's not the time, or you could have said, well, here's why it might not work. And, you know, you guys really had to, that was a big decision. And those are big turning points. And it's kind of, sometimes I think we don't recognize kind of the ripple effects that take place. And, you know, I can't help but look back at, you know, when I got introduced to the network marketing industry, for instance, right? And I look at the owners of the first company that I got introduced to, and that was my door into this whole world.
Right.
And it's like, man, you know, if they were having a couple glasses of wine and said, you know what, it's not such a good idea, you know, then where would things be for me today, you know? And so thank you, I mean, for stepping up, for being bold, for making big moves in the industry, because those big moves really affected me and, you know, changed the path of my life. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, you know what, let's start there. Let's talk about some big moves. Let's talk about those big moves, those big decisions, those big changes that we make in our business, that, you know, those breakthroughs that happen. Because all of us spend amount of time struggling in this industry, especially if we're coming into online marketing or network marketing, brand new. We've never done it before. There's going to be a period of time where we're struggling. We're trying to figure this thing out. But then something magical happens, and it's this breakthrough that happens. It's this transition, this door you step through, and all of a sudden you start to create results. And it, you know, it might just be a few leads here, a couple of sales that start to pop, and all of a sudden things change. Can you go back to that breakthrough? Like, what happened for you between that point of struggle and success? Was there one thing? Was it a few things? Was it a mental shift? Was it specific activities that you were doing? What was kind of the breakthrough?
Yeah, wow, that's wild. That's a good question. You know, because there are so many breakthroughs, right? You got your first one, and then sometimes, believe it or not, sometimes there are letdowns after breakthroughs, right? You know,
yes.
You think you're like, you know, you're over the mountaintop, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, it was supposed to be what happened. You know what I mean? I thought the floodgates were opening here. You know, that was a big win. And, you know, first and foremost, I think, like, to anybody who's sitting there waiting for their first breakthrough, you know, a big piece of advice I'd give you is that you've already had one somewhere along the way, you know, and sometimes we don't celebrate the small victories en route to that first notable victory, you know, and, you know, we're having breakthroughs all the time. And as people, you know, I do these kind of group coaching sessions in one aspect of my business. And something we start off with at the beginning is everybody talks about they have to identify 3 wins from the week. Nice. And when people are getting started in this program, because it sets the tone for the whole call, right? And when people are getting started in this program, they'll go, well, I had the most visitors ever to my blog. You know, I had 50 visitors to my blog, and that's the most I ever got, but still no comments and still no this and still no, and they immediately like deflate that victory. You know what I mean? They've got to knock it down. So, you know, if you're listening, like, you've had a breakthrough already, you know what I mean? There's no doubt about that. But, you know, to really answer your question, I mean, I stuck with it. I made $98 in my first 6 months in home business. Then I got online, and for the next 4 months, I didn't make $1. You know, and so we're 10 months, $98. I think I probably gotten my first couple of leads. But I was so intent on making this happen that I remember when I got my first lead from the website, right? And I was like at my waiter job, and I saw the email on my phone, and I'm like, I just got a lead on my website, right? I mean, that was exciting to me. I didn't feel defeated, like 10 months were, you know, had gone by, and what am I doing? And I had moments like that, but I didn't downplay that first, you know, big moment, right? But, you know, I'd say, like, really the big breakthrough came when my YouTube channel just started rolling, right? You know, I was a YouTube marketer, and I remember going to my buddy and saying, look at this, man, I got 400 views. Can you believe this? And I was so pumped, right? 400 views. I was like, the possibilities, my mind was blown. The possibilities of 400 people could see me on YouTube. And not to go off track, but I just want to share this because a lot of people, I think, have a difficult time putting themselves out there, right? Getting on a platform like YouTube and really going into the marketplace for the first time. And I put my first ever YouTube video up, and it was something about, you know, it was something, I forget what it was. It was about committing, saying yes. And I posted it on Facebook for some traffic. And one of my fraternity brothers out there, you know, thinking he'd have some fun with me, you know, one of the naysayers out there, decided he was going to tag every fraternity brother I had in the comments section. Wow. And say, what the heck is Justice up to? And he just tagged everybody that I was connected with in college that were, you know, were in my fraternity and all that different stuff. Wow. And, you know, a lot of people, that would really bug a lot of people. And I say this because you're going to run into people like that, you know, that see your content, that are in your inner circle, that are seeing you get started, going for that first break. I mean, I remember looking at it like, hey, look, views, right? Like, cool, spread the word. I don't care. This is where I'm going. Like, this is what I'm doing. And believe it or not, 2 years later, that guy was referring people in my direction for business advice.
Nice.
So, you know, when you stick with something, guys, you will turn the naysayers around. But so I plugged away at video, Norb, made them constantly. I mean, constantly. And I think some of the secrets were, one, consistency. Two, I modeled what other people were doing, right? I saw somebody that was getting results with video. I said, if he can do it, I can do it. Let me find out what he's doing. And after several weeks of doing it and not seeing massive results, I didn't do what probably 95% of people do, and that is switch strategies, right? Change gears, move. I call it moving laterally in your business, right? Everything. If other people are getting results, something works, and you know they're either doing something you're not doing, or they know something you don't know, and it's your job, if you've made a commitment to getting results in a certain area online, a certain strategy online, it's your job to immerse yourself in that strategy until you get results. And so, you know, I got my first 400 views. It was a big deal. I still wasn't ranking videos, but I just kept after it. I learned all things video. Like, I just put my blinders on and I said, I'm going to figure this out. And at the time it was SEO, and people said, you know, people look at me like I'm some techie wizard. And I'm like, I can't get the pictures off my phone. Right? Like, I don't know how to do this stuff, but I put my blinders on and I dove into every piece of content I could find that was relevant to the task at hand, which was to drive major traffic with YouTube. And what was 400 videos, all of a sudden, you know, the floodgates opened up, and for 400 views, it just started moving. And I mean, I went from getting a couple of leads to 10 leads a day, just like that. Right. And from 10 leads a day, it was like to 50 leads a day, just like that. I mean, when I met you out at my first event ever, it was like the floodgates had opened, right? I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't know a lot about anything. I just knew that I was getting results because of this one strategy. So that was my big breakthrough moment there.
Yeah, I like that. That's huge. And there's a lot of similarity with what I'm hearing from some other marketers that I've interviewed. All right. One is that you started to create content. The second is consistency and focus. Two things that you mentioned there. And, you know, you picked this strategy of video marketing, and I want to just touch base on this idea of creating content, because it keeps coming up over and over, especially when we talk about breakthrough. And, you know, I want to ask you, I think it's one of the biggest challenges for new marketers and marketers looking for a breakthrough to get out there and start creating content. How do you help people make that mental shift from where they are now, where they're probably most likely consuming content, to taking that step and then starting to actually create content? Because there's a lot of fear around that. There's a lot of, you know, lack of knowledge, lack of experience, et cetera, whatever the excuses are. How do you make that shift?
That's a fantastic question, Norb. And it's funny because I believe that's one of the biggest hurdles to get people over if they want to bring their business online, is getting out there, creating content. I think the hang up most people have is, who would listen to me? I don't know enough, right? All this different stuff. And for some reason, you know, I think some people catch this earlier than others. And I heard you tell a story one time where you called one of the first leads you ever got.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And he said, well, how much money have you made? You said, well, none, but I can show you how to get a lead, right? I got this, right? Like, I can show you.
You're one of my leads.
Exactly. And, you know, I think sometimes people are quicker to give themselves credit for the value they have, right? And, you know, when you're saying, hey, I can teach you this, you're not saying, hey, I can teach you how to do everything under the sun online. You're saying, hey, I learned something, I did it here, I can show you how. And, you know, that's the mindset people have to step into if they're going to get out there and create content. A couple of the biggest setbacks just in business in general, some of the biggest things that hold people back. I mean, if people aren't out there doing taking the actions that are congruent with what they say they want. Right. So in other words, everybody says, hey, well, I want residual income. I want passive, I want freedom. I want a business that creates six figures or multiple six figures or seven figures, all this stuff the lip service we give as to what we're going for. Right. More times than not, people who don't have the results, their actions just are not in line with what they say they want. And that's for one of two reasons. One, they don't really have a clear vision of where they're going and what they actually want. They don't even really believe it's possible for them, a lot of people. And two is because it's a self-image hang-up, right? They don't want to be judged. And that is higher on their priority totem pole than actually going out there and having what they want. And that is a huge hang-up when it comes to creating content. People think their content's not good enough. They think that their content's going to be judged. They think that they feel phony because they don't have major results yet or any of that different stuff. And what you have to realize if you're out there trying to push yourself into the world of content creation is that just by learning, just by being active in this industry, and this is a regenerating audience, okay? A lot of our audience starts through the network marketing door, right? Starts through an offline home biz op kind of deal, and they come into this world and they get introduced to the idea of lead generation, going out there, growing their business online. Now, some people are already present online, but that's a regenerating audience, right? I know I went into a home meeting. I got all fired up, right? I went out. I talked to 10 people. They told me I was crazy. I went to my computer, said, there's got to be a better way. And, but you got to remember there's thousands of people walking out of those environments or getting introduced to some sort of business opportunity or getting introduced to the idea of making money online. Thousands of people every day regenerating. And those people know nothing. Okay? And so what you have to realize is just by being present, just by having educated yourself, just by having taken some basic actions, you know more when it comes to marketing or training in your niche, whatever it is, than the hyper majority of the marketplace. And if you just change the direction you're looking and stop looking up and being the student that's looking up and going, hey, one day I've got to teach Norb, right? I can't create content because Norb's already created that content. I can't. Mm-hmm. You got to remember, you're actually closer in experience to the new person that's part of that regenerating audience. You're closer in experience to them than I am, than Norb is. Then we can't help but get kind of distant, right? You remember what it was like, but you can't place yourself as easily in that experience that person's having right there. And so you have actually a better chance of making a connection and communicating with them and solving their problem than somebody who's farther removed from their experience. So when you turn around, the real secret is to just not look up, at the people teaching on the webinars. Look kind of behind you at where you were yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, and just teach that person and understand that you're bringing them value, that you have a better chance of making a connection with them because you're less removed from the experience they're having, and you can provide them a huge service, and you're actually doing them a disservice if they don't. It's not just you and your business. You're doing a disservice by not creating the content that can serve them, but you're doing yourself and you're doing them a disservice. So just teach you yesterday. It forces you to learn and grow, and you'll win long term.
I love it. I love that picture that you painted about the regenerating audience and how you're closer to the people just coming in. I love that picture. That's great. I hope that empowers a lot of the listeners, to really to get out there and start sharing what they do already know, and start to get into that position of creating content instead of always just consuming more and more content. That's great. Awesome. Thank you. Okay, so let's move into, you talked about YouTube marketing as one of the things that you started with to generate traffic, get leads, build your audience. What are you doing now? What traffic marketing strategies are you focusing on right now that's helping you to grow your business, grow your audience, grow your customers? What are you focused on? What's working for you now?
Well, I still create content, Norb. I'm not an everyday content creator, like back, when I got started, it was all the time, every day, right? Now I create content. It's there to get traffic and generate leads. And I still post my videos to YouTube, still do a little bit of YouTube SEO. I like to keep that machine moving. The search engine's changed a lot. So, marketing changes, guys. There's no doubt about it. If you don't understand the principles of what you're doing and why you're doing what you're doing and how you're moving people, and you don't understand kind of the fundamentals, you're going to get caught holding the bag at some point, and I've been there. I watched the search engines change when I was relying on nothing but traffic and leads. It was just this machine that was funneling stuff towards me, but I didn't really understand the principles of, how to get people responding and how to move people towards purchasing decisions, how to maintain customers. I mean, all these different things. Those skills had not been developed yet. So believe it or not, my business does a lot better now on a lot less traffic and leads than it used to get, right? I mean, there was a point in time when it was just this traffic and lead machine, and I thought that's what it was all about, and I realized that you could get a lot more done and you could produce a lot more with less, actually, if you had the right skills. And you kind of understood the bigger picture. So, I still keep the content machine moving, but probably my favorite source of traffic right now is still Facebook paid advertising. And I think most people shy away from paid advertising when they get started. I think they're scared of it. I think they're looking for free. A lot of people, whether it's a budgetary thing, whether, the risk of going into the unknown and possibly, when the traffic, when you have to pay for the traffic, right? Like, man, what if you make a mistake? I remember flubbing a few ads early on and not shutting them off, or, setting them up wrong and going back and looking and going, I spent what, So, I think that scares a few people away, but paid traffic is the only way to turn traffic on, and it's the only thing that's really, truly scalable. From a traffic standpoint. So Facebook paid ads are definitely my favorite source of traffic right now, because I can turn them on specific to something I'm working on, specific to something I'm promoting. I do a lot of webinars, and that's a source of leads for me. It's a great source of sales for me. And, just how advanced the technology is getting. I mean, with remarketing and retargeting and the ability to start almost creating an email sequence-esque experience, okay, out there without having someone be on your email list yet. Being able to touch.
You're talking specifically right now, just to catch everybody up here, you're talking specifically right now about remarketing on Facebook to, let's say, people that have already visited your website, or maybe they registered for a webinar, or maybe they didn't even register for the webinar. And you're able to now follow up with them on Facebook through different advertising. Remarketing is what you're talking about.
Absolutely. So you figure, back when I hit my traffic, like I was like, it was like I struck oil, right? I hit a traffic strategy that it was just killer, and all this traffic came, and it was like all these leads were coming in. But now with the ability to target through Facebook paid advertising, the ability to retarget people, the ability to retarget my list, the ability to create these experiences, I can get so much more accomplished, right? For every visitor, for every lead, for every buyer, than I could, when I was just driving traffic through YouTube. So it is by Facebook paid advertising right now is by far my favorite source of traffic. Awesome.
Yeah, good stuff. And hopefully we can touch into some of that stuff in the premium edition, the premium session, where you're going to, kind of open up your business for us and show us some of the things that you're doing. We don't have enough time to get into that right now, but hopefully you can show us some of those things in your business specifically.
Certainly. Actually, in the premium edition, Norb, I'm going to go in and I'm going to show people how I split test ads going into webinars, and I'm going to show them some of the copy I use and kind of what my philosophy is going into it. Going to show them how I decide what my cost per lead point is on Facebook ads going into affiliate promotion. So I got a lot of great stuff planned for the premium session.
Okay, awesome, good stuff. All right, so let's talk about one other thing here, because you got started in this whole industry. You got started in network marketing. You come online. As a solution, trying to figure out, how do I build my business? How do I get leads? You start to generate leads. So obviously you start to make money promoting a few affiliate programs and promoting your network marketing business. I talk a lot about monetization in my training because I feel that that's one of the fundamental pillars of building a successful online business. And I really feel that a lot of marketers don't understand monetization, and it's one of the reasons that it prevents them from getting into paid advertising. So can you share with us sort of what's your monetization strategy now? What have you moved into? How has it changed? And how are you actually making money with all the things that you're doing?
Absolutely. Well, I still love promoting, certain affiliate programs. Sometimes those are directly up front in a funnel, and somebody will come in and they'll see that. Sometimes I have my own products up front there, low cost, high value solutions where I can get someone, moved over onto a buyer list. Bottom line, right? One thing I really didn't understand, and, through investing in myself, investing in coaching, and through, some concepts that I learned out there through books, a great book if you want to understand, monetization strategies, 80-20 marketing by Perry Marshall, right?
Yeah.
And, understanding that for every group of buyers, for every list, there's a group of buyers, right? For every group of buyers, there's a segment, a smaller segment, basically 80-20 is the premise, right? The 20% of those buyers are going to be your more premium buyers. And then out of those 20%, right, there's going to be a smaller segment that's your more premium buyers. And we call it the value ladder, multi-tiered monetization. I mean, there's just so many different phrases that have been used for it. But the bottom line is, for a long time, the upfront aspect of my business was what got all the focus, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love this. Yeah.
The affiliate system, the affiliate product, recurring commissions, my network marketing business, whatever some of my kind of front end sales were, or even kind of second level or third level sales, those were the focus of my business. And I remember, I started getting into launching my own products, which was awesome. Right? Because now if I have affiliates, I'm leveraging their efforts. And if they make a sale, I'm getting the same pretty much percentage as I used to get making an affiliate sale somebody else's deal. But if I make a sale, I'm keeping the whole darn thing. Right? And so, went through a bunch of went through a series of product launches, which was really kind of a big step in business. And I remember going down, we'd done this product launch. My buddy Adam Chandler and I, we did these challenges, and we did a product launch. It was the first time we ever launched something outside of leveraging the infrastructure of a system. We came out and we said, we're going to do our own product. We're going to have our own affiliates. And it was a great learning experience. And we had an upsell in there, which was this little mastermind, and it sold really well. We weren't thinking we had limited number of spots in it. We didn't realize we were limiting ourselves at the time, but it sold out, and it sold out quickly. And we were kind of impressed. We were like, oh, that was a higher price point. And, we didn't know if it would sell or not, and it sold. And I remember going to an event, and I sat down. It was a live event, and I went out the first night and met up with some people. And I had the good fortune of sitting down with Ray Higdon and having a chat. And, he said, what's going on in your business? I told him about this launch, and he said, cool, what's your upsell? And I said, well, we already did it. We sold it out. It was awesome. It was this. And what are you selling now?
What's next?
And what's next? And I said, well, we really hadn't planned on anything. And that's when he kind of taught me about the idea of just never creating an island. Okay, never creating any piece of content, any product, any coaching program, anything that didn't have a bridge to the next thing if somebody wanted to go further. And so that was when I really learned how to start monetizing buyers that were coming in. And the way I've done it is through coaching, through high level training, packages, things like that. I've done a high level mastermind, luxury mastermind, which was a great experience. And interestingly, while that wasn't the most profitable thing because there was so much luxury involved, right? It was such an experience for the people. It created it created a lot of buzz, it's definitely something that creates kind of some clout out there, but because we got a chance to work so intimately with everybody, some of those clients came in my direction specifically for one-on-one coaching, right?
Of course.
And that creates, a higher ticket item there. And, so we went home just to finish that story. I went home there. I said, we got to have something else to offer. And I remember we offered something at the $1,500 price point. And it was the first time we had ever, asked for like that 4-figure price point for me, right? I had never, and I got to tell you, if you're listening, a lot of you who start to get closer to that moment, there can be some hangups associated with that. Right. Wondering if you really have the value, if you can charge that much, if you should charge that much. And I'm going to tell you right now, every single person out there should probably be comfortable charging higher prices sooner than they do. Okay. You have the value now. Here's the deal. The time that you put into people, the time that you're going to spend learning, creating videos, building your business, that time has a bigger value than you probably give it credit for, okay? If I have videos out there, when I was making my videos that went on to produce thousands of dollars, some of them, 5,000 plus per video, on some of those videos, and it only took me an hour to make that video and an hour to promote that video and some time to learn, what it takes to do that video, then if I put things in perspective that way, and you don't know what that activity that you're participating in now is that's going to produce those kind of results, but if you're in action, it exists, okay? When you put that into perspective, the time you spend with people, whether it be through one-on-one coaching or through more intimate training products, that time you spend with people is time you're not making that video, okay? And they're getting something that they can't get elsewhere in the marketplace. They place a high value on it. They're likely placing a higher value on it than you are when you're trying to determine your asking price. So, I think it's Dan Kennedy that says basically like ask for whatever price you can ask for without kind of, like kind of breaking a smile or becoming, like kind of laughing at the fact that you've gone too far, like that it's obnoxious. Kind of get into that range. You're likely undercharging. So, we went home, we did the $1,500 mastermind, looked back on it, realized how much we undercharged. And so now, a big aspect of my business is affiliate stuff up front, low end products up front. I do a fair amount of product launches, create my own products. I do like, and we're going to speak about my formula for this in, the premium package here, premium version of this call. I do like promoting affiliate launches and other people's products. Occasionally, I find it to be an easy way to not have to do as much work, to leverage someone else's infrastructure, expertise, all that different stuff. Yep. And then that leads into, high-end one-on-one stuff, whether it be in the form of group mastermind or one-on-one coaching.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love this, Justice. You've been sharing so many valuable tips and ideas and concepts. I love the way that you communicate some of these things and communicate, the experience. I can tell just by listening to you that you've gone through the experience, and you have the experience that you're able now to share and communicate with others. And it's going to be a big help for a lot of people. So let's wrap this call up, because I know we could go on for like an hour here. I just really enjoy chatting with you about these things, about marketing and business. But let's wrap it up. So let's leave our listeners and our viewers here from all around the world. Let's leave them with 3 tips from Justice Eagan, to take people from where they are right now to get them to the next level. What are 3 tips that you can leave them with? 3 things to focus on. Okay, let's see. 3 tips. Well, first of all, and I know you hear a lot about mindset, but, mindset is everything, right? That is the bulk of the game there. And a lot of times when we're evaluating something in our business that isn't going right, or we're looking for a way to move something forward, or we're looking to understand why something good happened, whatever the case may be, when we're evaluating something in the here and now in our business, we're kind of looking where it's all happening, right? And I always tell people you gotta take a few steps back, right? You gotta reverse engineer what's going on, whether you're looking to change a result, whether you're looking to find out what got your result, whatever it is that's going on in your business right here, you've got to take a few steps back, and it really goes down to mindset. It peels back to habits, okay? Things like habits, things like routine. That is really the foundation of everything that you accomplish.
your habits, if you're not becoming better as a person in non-business activities, then you're not going to be able to properly translate what you're learning into successful business activities. And I think sometimes people get so hung up in all the business stuff. They live in this world where they're learning, where they're doing, and they're trying to figure it all out. And they're missing the boat in the fact that they're not improving the way they approach life, before they step into business. And I get it. You guys hear the mindset thing all the time, but it really is that big. And for me, it was really about changing my life habits and finding ways that I could function better, right? Become more efficient, more confident, build more momentum just in life and carry that energy, that vibration around that translates into business success. So if things aren't where you want them to be in business, sometimes we're turning over the wrong stones. And you need to peel back, and you need to look at how you're approaching life, how you're approaching your day, what your habits are like, and what you're doing really to stay sound and improve in between the years. So tip number 2 would probably be to give yourself credit for the value that you have. We talked about that at length, but you really have to get over the insecurities, get over the self-doubt, and give yourself credit that you can go out there and help someone, and understand that if you really want to go far in this business, that and just in life in general, that you almost have a responsibility to. You have information inside you, you have value inside you that can serve somebody, and you have to. You're not going to bring it out there until you recognize it's there, right? Mm-hmm. Until you stop and say, you know what, I am worthy. Okay, I have value, and until you get to that point, nobody's going to show up and tell you you're ready. Nobody's going to. I think I said I live the dream. Nobody's going to knock on your door, right, and give you, hand delivered mail, right, some certified mail, and say, hey, here's your certificate. It's time, right? You've got to make that decision yourself, right? You've got to choose leadership yourself, and understand that you can make that choice at any time. Right, you can make that choice right now, listening to this podcast, mm-hmm. And accept that you have value, accept that you can have an impact on someone. Choose the role of leadership rather than choosing the role of always being the student, always being the customer, always being that person. And turn around and step on the other side. Even if we're always students, but you got to step over and be the trainer and create the content and believe in the value you have to bring to the marketplace. So, choose leadership would be the thing. Make the choice now, because no one's going to let you know when the time, has come. It comes when you're the only one who lets you know. And so make that choice. And, lastly would be to continue to invest in yourself. I think that I tried to do it the free way for a long time, cheap and cheerful, and see what I can get out of ebooks and all this different stuff, and wonderful podcasts and like this, and you have to take the next step. Speed to results, comes from those big commitments. Interestingly, I think that a lot of people feel like that information is held back, like that. That, oh, well, it's always you've got to buy something to get more. It's really interesting. You could probably find every bit of information that exists out in the marketplace for free if you want to spend the next 5 years doing it and sifting through all the stuff. What you're paying for, is you're paying for somebody who's gathered all the information to put it into, a useful format, a point A to point B format, to give you their insight, how it's affected them, what they've learned along the way, and really give you the fine-tuned stuff that you don't have to figure out on your own. And that's how you get speed to results. And believe it or not, people take things that they pay for a lot more seriously. You'll respect things that you pay for a lot more. And for that reason, just by default, you're a lot more likely to implement, to execute, and to really get the most out of training, because you've made an investment. So, that's probably the biggest piece of advice I could give people is don't be afraid, or even better yet, when you're afraid, do it anyway. Get out there and invest in your education. It's going to be what moves you along faster.
Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. Great advice. Thank you so much. Justice, this was awesome. This was awesome stuff. Really appreciate you being here and sharing with everybody your knowledge, wisdom, and experience. I know it's been a big help for a lot of our listeners, and I really look forward to getting into the premium edition here for our premium members and jumping into your business and having us show you us some of the specific things that you're doing in your business right now to grow your business, generate leads, build your audience, and monetize that audience as well. So excited for you to share that with us. Again, Justice, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm pumped. I really appreciate the opportunity to jump out here and share some information with your audience. I'm excited to go over and do the premium edition here, because I'm going to talk about kind of a little affiliate program, kind of system I have to affiliate launches. And what I think is so cool about that is that, people, I love leveraging other people's infrastructure. It's just so great for beginners. Yeah. It's so powerful, right? Because you're just piggybacking everything they know and they've done, and you get to get paid anyway. And that's what makes that's what makes affiliate marketing out there such a powerful thing. But all that aside, Norb, I appreciate you. I hope if people are listening, they subscribe to this, because I know you got a lot of leaders, coming down the pipeline to bring some amazing information. And just really love what you do, and I can't thank you enough for what the decisions you made and the impact you've had on my life and my business. So appreciate you having me out there, and thanks for everything you do, buddy.
Awesome, Justice. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here, and make sure you subscribe on iTunes. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll see you in the premium edition for those of you that are our premium members. And we'll see you next week with another online Playmaker session.
I hope you enjoyed this week's Playmaker session. If you love the session, subscribe now to our YouTube channel so you never miss our weekly episodes. Be sure to also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. Just type in Online Playmakers in the search bar and click subscribe, and be sure to leave a 5-star review. All of the episodes, show notes, transcripts, resources, and bonuses are available on the blog over at onlineprofitplaybook.com, along with several bonus free tutorials I've created for you as well. Your fast track to results is to follow the Playmakers. You can download their closely guarded playbooks and follow them step by step to grow your influence, build your audience, and create results in your business right now. Head over to onlineprofitplaybook.com and join the Playmakers to get full access today. Thank you again for joining us today, and be sure to tune in next week as we bring you another power-packed session with the top Playmakers online. This is Norbert Orlowitz, signing off.